While you guys are wrapping up, I'm going to jump in and just kind of follow through with the solution of what I asked you to just do. So basically, I mentioned that I'd like to start off today by doing this, the two bottom bars of the X braces, and then the arch that kind of stretches in between the two members here. So I also gave you a bit of a hint and said that probably one of the easiest paths forward would be to try and isolate this particular point, which right now we don't have a point that floats below the X. We have the midpoint that floats between the two X connection points, but we need to find one below. So for the most part, we figured out the easy way to do this is to actually grab the overall surface for this entire thing and copy the reparametrization that we did in order to establish the X pattern. If you copy that, you can just reduce the domain and put an edge here. And so that looks like this, if I can find where I actually did it. I believe it was this. Yeah. So copy this and copy your domain functions. I'll pull it up here, I guess. And this is going to allow us to basically pull the surface back to the origin. And then I can even, I don't even have to pull the surface all the way back. I can just kind of stretch it down a little bit like this. As long as I have an edge in the position that I want it to be, that's all that really matters. So in order to remember which function is going to be the modifier, I'm going to group this. And I'm going to call this arch apex. And then I'm going to move this surface down with a wireless connector. So I'll call this one the, oh, what did I have one of you guys call it? I forget what I called it. I'll call it apex surface. And make this wireless. So now down here, actually I need to find where the points are themselves. You can turn this stuff off as well if you want, and you probably should. But I need to now recall where the points were that generated all of the access points that I need to essentially start mapping. And I don't yet know exactly where that's going to be. So I'm going to leave this down here and find my center point, and then I'm just going to start referencing my center point as an attachment to those other locations. So in order to find the center point, just deconstruct the brep and then find the edge that is on the bottom. So list item 0 to 3 for the slider. Not 1, not 2, and it's 3. So this gives me the edge on the bottom, and then I can use that edge to divide, and I would divide it by a number 2. That'll give me 2 subdivisions. And then another list item. Actually, I copied the slider, but I don't want the slider. I want a static number. I know that my index value is going to be 1 because it's a center point of 3 points. So that's how I isolate that point. And with this tiny little thing, I'm going to create another wireless connection. And that wireless connection is going to be a point. So I'm going to grab the point param and put it out here. And this one is going to be called arch apex point. All right, cool. So this can actually continue to live down here if I so choose, but ultimately this is going to be a floating reference that I'm going to start just kind of tacking on to wherever it needs to be most appropriately. So first and foremost, I think one of the first things I want to do is grab my two endpoints that I have from down here, and I'm going to create the arch. So it might take me a moment to remember exactly where I have them, but my two origin points are they these? No, those are surfaces. And then there. Where are my arches? These are my arches, right? Arch curves is generated from points. There we go. Alright, so that has my 4 endpoints. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here and start to operate with those 4 endpoints. And they just basically are going to have to be split in a way that I can control the connections of them. There might actually be a faster way of doing this. I'm just doing it the fastest way I can, or the first way I can think of. But essentially that's going to be a list item. So I'll go to set list item with a slider 0 to 3. And so this list of points will need to be flattened in order for me to isolate the one I want. So I will flatten that list. And essentially I'm going to have my first point is this one right here, and then my midpoint, and then I'll have a second point which should be the one right across the way, which looks like it's 3. So with that, I can just do my curve. It could be an interp curve, which is going to look a lot like this. But the interp curve will, I think I need to merge the list back. I think I'll need to merge the list back. It might not make me. Let's try it without it. So curve, spline, interpolate, and let's see if we just add them on if it'll work. Oh no, it won't. Hang on. Vertices. Insufficient interpolation points for a curve. It should have 3. I'm guessing it's the order. Yeah, so let me merge them. So go to set tree and merge. Go 1, 2, 3. Should give us a straight list, but it's not. Never mind. Go to weave. I guess we'll do it like this down here. Actually, just copy that weave bit up. I don't know why we need weave for this one, but we do, it looks like. Yeah, there we go. Alright, this one should work. There. Okay. There we go. So this is going to be an attachment there that kind of grows off of that one. We're going to need 2 of these because I'm going to need to do the same thing for the other side. However, I just realized that I did an arch apex point for one side. I need to do it for both sides. I should have just done it for both sides right off the bat. So let me trace this all the way back and rename them. So this is going to be my west apex surface, which means I'm also going to need an east apex surface. Oops. Yeah, okay, cool. Actually, I'm going to use the same domain. So that's an east apex surface, which means I need to then come back down here, and I'm not going to worry about trying to blend it specifically or make it all kind of go through the same thing. I'm okay with doubling it up for now, for clarity's sake. So I'll plug this one down here. So that means that this one is the west apex surface as well, and this one is the east apex surface. This is the west arch apex point, east arch apex point. So then going back up here, the only other difference here is I need to do this twice, and I need to do it off of the other set of points. So I'll copy, paste, and I'm going to do this with the other point. So that would be a 1 and a 2. And you're going to see that it's stretching sort of kind of all the way across. That's fine for now. I need to make sure that I switch my arch apex point. So I'm going to borrow my east and then move it up. So again, this one was west. This goes away, and this is east. Okay, there you go. So you have you now have the pipe, or the pipe center line for both sides. And to close the book on the bottom side of it, all I have to do now is just borrow that variable pipe, which I believe is right here. That variable pipe can just apply to both of them, and all you have to do is just change the values. So I believe I can plug them both in, so let me disconnect this. I'll plug in curve. So that's looking like really thick right now, so I'm going to change my radius. Start from a radius of 0.75, and then go down to 0.65, and then go down to 0.5. Oh wait, no, it needs to go... Sorry, it needs to go from thick to thin to thick again, so 0.75 to 0.5 to 0.75. There you go. And let's see if it'll do both. Alright, it did. Let me see how we're doing on time for this video, whether or not I just want to... Okay. So the other one is actually remarkably easy, and well, I'll just do that in a separate video for argument's sake here.